Hi there. Originally this was going to be a recording of the actual live class that I did last Saturday, but in actual fact, because there were technical difficulties and the video was like 50 minutes long on high quality, the file was enormous, so I decided to change the format a little bit, and I'm going to discuss today what in this little 20-minute video basically what we covered in that class, and then after this upfront video, later on you'll see my hands in close-up and I'll refer to the tablature, and that way you can get the practice time that you need. So just to refresh your memory, it was a basic blues in the style of Lightning Hopkins, and it sounded like this. Now don't you cry, mama, 'cause your daddy's going away. Nice and steady. Now don't you cry, mama, because your daddy's going away. Now you know I hate to leave you, but I'll be coming back one of these old days. Now for this basic blues, we just use 3 main chords, because for most blues it's a 3-chord trick, but we do use some versions like this. He starts off with introduction with this D formation on the 9th fret, then he slides it up to the 12th fret, and then he runs down on that bass E. On the tablature you'll see I run from the 12th to the 5th on the bass E, but it really doesn't matter if you start higher up or lower down or exactly where you finish off. It's the feeling that you're looking for. So we use that D inversion, that D chord, the D shape on the 9th fret, which is actually it's just an A, and then we run down with that. We run up with that, and we start to add the alternating bass. Remembering to damp. Whenever you feel there's a need to dampen the song to give it a kind of a feeling, then just simply put the palm of your hand on the guitar and just cut the sound short. And then we run down on that bass E string, and then we move back immediately to this very simple D inversion chord, and we damp the basses still, and then we have this particular, what I call a thumb roll, where my thumb slips from one bass to the next, and then I damp it with my palm. Down to the A. Now often when I'm playing an A chord, if I'm not going to play the treble strings at all, if I'm just going to vamp with my thumb for example, I won't even bother holding my little finger on the other chords at all. I just hold the bar on. Another thing that I very often do is I use this form, so I hold both the last 2 strings down, the B and the E, with my pinky. It gives a nice fuller sound, and sometimes when we're playing things like Big Bill Broon's in E, that's very, very useful. Of course we use A7. Now when I go to D7, I don't play the full chord. It's quite rare that I play that last high E string, unless I need to. And we use this really nice sounds great and effective, and it sounds complicated, but it's of course it's a piece of cake. It's just getting the timing with your fingers, and once you've got that, once you get it, it stays, and you can incorporate it in any of blues that you play in the key of A, where you're going to use a D7 chord. It's used a lot in Robert Johnson's songs, for example, and I tend to put it in more than I should, but because if you put it everywhere, if something sounds good and you think it's a kind of a cliche, but there's a reason people call these things cliches. It's because people like them, because they hear them all the time. But if you do have a kind of a riff like that, or a bit of a move that you really like to do, you'll find that if you put it in your songs all the time, or too many places during the song, it makes makes the song sound a little bit samey, a little bit boring. People know what you're going to do. And then we move down to the E and E7. And up till now we've been doing a kind of a monotonic bass. And in one of the variations I show you how to double that and make it more interesting by doubling it up and making it into a heartbeat bass. And you can really do that any time in the song, anywhere you like. And then Lightning changes here. When he moves to the E chord, he starts to pinch just two strings together and moves backwards and forwards like this. Which is nice and simple, but effective. It changes the accent. And back to A. And basically that's all I play for the whole of the verses. When I want to do the instrumental break, I shall use the introduction again. But of course you can decide to change that little break in the middle, make of it what you will. Try and make the music yours, but keep that authenticity, keep it real. One of the problems we've got with singing any kind of finger-picking blues, even if it's not a complex ragtime tune, is when we start to sing. And we talked a little bit about this. So after the introduction we move down to the D. We're going to finish off. That nice run to the E. We'll finish off that nice. We end up back on the A. And we're getting ready to sing. Because it's not very easy to sing at the same time, I start to sing and I'm on A chord there, but I'll just simply hit with my thumb. Now if you go down, and when I've finished, now if you go down, and after down I will simply run up to the D7 chord, because I can stop thinking about my voice and I can concentrate on my thumb. All at the same time trying to make it look so fluid and easy that we're doing it without thinking about it. And this is one of the tricks that you need to get a hold of if you're going to perform in public. Your daddy's going away. Now, when you're doing this kind of this hammer-on pull-off in quick succession on the D7, you have to sing at the same time. There's no way out of it. So in this case, where you do have to play something quite intricate and you're singing, you just have to if you play nothing but that for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night, after a couple of days you'll be able to sing along with it. Your dad is going away. And you notice after way, your dad is going away. And then I can do that nice little bit on the A chord without worrying about my voice. So you see we're fitting it in. And when we have a problem with playing guitar and it's too complicated for the voice, then we just simply wait for a space, try and fit that word in there. Now you know I hate to leave you, but I'll be coming back one of these old days. If you can't sing while you're doing that bit, then wait a little while and make it feel natural and sing after you've finished it. Now, oh no, I hate to leave you, but I'll be coming back one of these old days. But of course, if you leave it too long after those bass runs, then you're still singing while you're... So you're stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea. It's just practice, practice, guys. It's just one of those things. Let's take a look at my hands in close-up, and I'm going to refer to the section in the tablature so you can follow it exactly. Let's go. Now that was the introduction complete, and now we'll take a look at the verse in some detail, so they'll be referring to the sections. Now this is section 1 at the top of page 3. And this is a variation you might play, and you'll see that in red underneath. And section 2. And section 3. And on to section 4. And section 5. And finish off the verse with section 6. Have fun and take it easy.